Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action program launch. Before we begin, we would like to invite you to stand up and sing the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya.
Indonesia tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi pandu ibuku. Indonesia kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku. Marilah kita bersatu, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Thank you. You may sit down. We trust that each of you has enjoyed a delightful dinner. Tonight marks a momentous occasion as we are joined by distinguished guests.
Allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Aji Maulana, and alongside me is Devona Theodora. We feel privileged to serve you as your masters of ceremony for this remarkable event, as we have all gathered here today for a noble cause.
We extend our warm greetings to some of our esteemed guests who have graced us with their presence this evening, including Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro as Secretary Ministry of Youth and Sports of Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Sidarto Suryodipuro, Director General of ASEAN Cooperation Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Ing Ilham Habibi, MBA, Chief Executive National ICT Council or Wantiknas.
We also welcome Ms. Rosdiana Murtiningsih, Counselor for Socio-Cultural Affairs, Permanent Mission of the Republic of Indonesia for ASEAN, Mr. Edwin Satya, First Secretary of Permanent Mission of the Republic of Indonesia for ASEAN, Dr. Rani S. Birchmore, Chairperson of ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, Mr. Sachin V. Gopalan, Vice Chair, ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, and Mr. Nalin K. Singh, Leadership Committee Member for ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. We also would like to extend our gratitude for the permanent representative for ASEAN from ASEAN member states and ASEAN Dialogue Partner. Please give a warm welcome and applause for all of us here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now our esteemed privilege to invite Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro as Secretary Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Republic of Indonesia, to share his valuable insight on today's event. Please join us in an extending warm round of applause to welcome him to the stage. The time is now yours, Your Honor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam, salam sejahtera bagi kita sekalian. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Izinkan pada kesempatan malam hari ini saya mewakili Menteri Pemuda dan Olahraga yang berhalangan karena beliau sedang di China untuk mengawal Asian Games, dan saya akan membacakan sambutan beliau dalam bahasa Indonesia. Selamat malam Bapak Ibu dan para tamu undangan yang berbahagia. Sebelum dimulai, saya ingin menyampaikan permohonan maaf Bapak Menteri Dito Aryo Tejo selaku Menteri Pemuda dan Olahraga Republik Indonesia yang tidak dapat hadir pada kesempatan hari ini karena sedang mendukung kontingen Indonesia di multi-event Asian Games ke-19 di Guangzhou, China. Sebagai gantinya, saya Gunawan Suswantoro selaku Sekretaris Kementerian Pemuda dan Olahraga mendapat kehormatan untuk mewakili Bapak Menteri dalam acara yang penting ini sebagai bentuk dukungan komitmen kami terhadap visi dan misi ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. Peresmian ASEAN for Youth for Digital Action menandakan puncak dan perjalanan transformatif yang dimulai dengan kesuksesan besar ASEAN Youth Dialog 2023 yang dilaksanakan pada bulan April lalu di Jakarta. ASEAN Youth for Digital Action muncul sebagai respon terhadap keharusan pembangunan berkelanjutan di dunia yang terus berkembang dengan misi yang jelas untuk mempertegas peran penting pemberdayaan pemuda. ASEAN Youth Dialog 2023 mendorong lahirnya ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, menyatukan para pemikir muda dalam diskusi visioner yang meletakkan dasar bagi masa depan yang menjanjikan. Menyadari kebutuhan global akan aksi kolektif dalam keberlanjutan, ASEAN Youth for Digital Action berevolusi dari program ASEAN Youth Development mewujudkan visi jangka panjang yang selaras dengan tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa. ASEAN Youth for Digital Action menjadi unggul karena komitmennya yang teguh terhadap keterlibatan kaum muda, menawarkan kepada para pemimpin muda sebuah platform yang dinamis untuk menjadi agen perubahan yang aktif. Perjalanan bersama ASEAN Youth for Digital Action dimulai dengan tujuan yang mendalam, dengan menyadari bahwa ini hanyalah permulaan. Ini lebih dari sekedar program, ini adalah bukti dari visi bersama kami dan komitmen untuk masa depan yang berkelanjutan dan diberdayakan secara digital. Bersama-sama kami akan menciptakan solusi yang berkelanjutan dan membuka jalan bagi generasi mendatang untuk diikuti dengan penuh kebanggaan. Izinkan saya mengucapkan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya kepada negara-negara anggota ASEAN yang atas dukungan dan dedikasi mereka yang tak terbatas terhadap pemberdayaan pemuda dan pembangunan berkelanjutan. Komitmen bersama ini telah berperan penting dalam mewujudkan ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. Selain itu, saya juga ingin menyampaikan apresiasi sedalam-dalamnya kepada Indonesia Economic Forum atas kontribusi dan kerjasama yang tak ternilai dalam bentuk visi ASEAN Youth for Digital Action mendorong inovasi dan kemajuan di kawasan ASEAN. Saya juga berterima kasih kepada AWS Restart, Orbit Future Academy, Innotech Foundation, dan Investor Trust atas peran penting mereka berkolaborasi dengan kami dan dalam perjalanan transformatif ini. Dukungan mereka berperan penting dalam membentuk ASEAN Youth for Digital Action menjadi platform yang kuat seperti saat ini. Tantangan yang kita hadapi sangat beragam, namun dengan tekad bersama masalah dapat diatasi. Dengan setiap kerjasama yang dijalin dan setiap inisiatif kolaboratif yang dilakukan, kita selangkah lebih dekat untuk mencapai tujuan bersama. ASEAN Youth for Digital Action bukan hanya hasil dari kontribusi individu. Ini suatu yang dijalin bersama atas dedikasi banyak orang dan merupakan bukti kekuatan kerjasama. Marilah kita teruskan semangat kolaborasi ini, karena kita tahu bahwa semangat ini akan menjadi kekuatan penuntun kita dalam mewujudkan ASEAN yang berkelanjutan dan didukung secara digital seperti yang kita cita-citakan. Kami mengundang seluruh mitra kami untuk terus berkolaborasi, berinovasi, dan bekerja sama. Dukungan kolaborator menjadi penting dalam perkembangan menuju ASEAN yang berkelanjutan dan diberdayakan secara digital. Marilah kita memulai perjalanan ini bersama-sama dengan optimisme, tekad, dan pengetahuan agar kita dapat mencapai goals yang lebih besar. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro, for your enlightening remarks. Your presence and wisdom have greatly enhanced our gathering today.
That is so true. The Ministry of Youth and Sports of the Republic of Indonesia extends his gratitude and apology for not being able to come on this event this night. But he also expresses that with this initiative, the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, this is a continued effort of Indonesia's chairmanship during the ASEAN on the 2023, and he believes that this is the gateway to the digitalization of ASEAN countries. And I think there is also a great opportunity that we all of us here has to work to. Furthermore, we are delighted to invite Mr. Ilham Habibi, the Chief Executive of the National ICT Council of the Republic of Indonesia, to share his thoughts and insights on today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, please extend a warm round of applause to welcome Mr. Ilham Habibi to the stage. The floor is yours.
Bapak Ibu yang saya hormati, Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro, Sekjen ya dari Kementerian Pemuda dan Olahraga, kemudian tentu juga Pak Sidarto Suryodiputro, Dirjen dari ASEAN atau untuk ASEAN di Kemlu, Ibu Rosdiana Murtiningsih, Counselor untuk Social Cultural Affairs, kalau sudah hadir, mungkin belum. Namun demikian tetap disapa. Kemudian Pak Edwin Satya, Sekretaris Pertama dari Kedutaan kita di ASEAN. Kemudian juga Dr. Rani Birchmore, Chairperson for ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. And also my dear friend and partners, there are two. Sachin Gopalan, Vice Chair of ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, and Nalin Singh, Leadership Committee Member for ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. And I think I do have to mention also the Ambassador for ASEAN from Canada, Mrs. Vicky, I need my glasses, I'm sorry, Singman, yeah. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, selamat malam, salam sejahtera kepada kita semua. Allow me from now on I speak in English. I wasn't to do greetings in Indonesian, but the rest will be in English. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and pleasure to be here tonight to give you a few remarks about the topic today, ASEAN Youth for Digital Action. But before that, we just received the greetings from the Minister of Sports from Hangzhou. I think he is right now there accompanying our team, and we greet back and hope and pray that our team will get more gold medals over there. So I think we have really 3 or so, or maybe collecting more. I know 9. I saw today in the newspaper about 9, but maybe that was this morning. And I think that we are well on the way towards many more to come, and inshallah, it'll work out fine. Anyway, well, today's topic is basically 3 keywords: ASEAN, youth, and digital action. So I want to say these three topics separately and then jointly, then we can understand the scope of this whole thing. First of all, ASEAN, I don't need to say much about ASEAN. ASEAN is I just saw it, it's my friend Martin Hansen from GIZ. I have to mention you too, Martin. And basically, I don't need to say much about ASEAN. We all know what it is. We're just about to enlarge ASEAN by the 11th member, hopefully soon, by Timor-Leste. But it is basically what it stands for, and what I think will happen, and I think most economists would agree with that, and I've seen analysis just lately in the press, that the trend is that in Asia in general, the investments will go more intra-Asia. So the role of Europe and United States and other countries outside Asia will lessen. That means Asians invest into Asia. Yeah? So that is a trend. And I don't remember the percentages, but it's important to note that this is going up, whereby the other is stagnant or going down. And this is an important trend, and it I think comes also because of the fact that there is more and more collaboration and communication between countries, and ASEAN is one of those cases. Yeah. I think there is no such thing as the goal of having a political union or even a common market with a common currency. I think it's something very difficult to achieve in a part of the world where the diversity between countries is so large. We have everything here from liberal democracies, or relatively liberal, not completely liberal, and autocracies. It's all there, and to find common ground, it's very difficult if you want to really unify that. But at least we can have enough communication between parties to increase trade, investment, collaboration in research and development, and the like. And that is, I think, what we will see ahead of us, is basically ASEAN like that. If I may isolate ASEAN, sometimes say ASEAN +3, so ASEAN plus Japan, South Korea, and China, but let's keep it simple, just say ASEAN right now. So the next thing is youth. Well, I think all of us are aware that most ASEAN, I say not all because there's some that are not, are basically very young. So 70% of our population are less than 40, I think, in average, which is, if you talk about ASEAN youth, you're talking about the majority of ASEAN, actually. It's not just the young people, it's the majority of the people. So this is how ASEAN thinks, by and large. It's like young people, which is basically the characteristic of the way forward, right? So it is not just a factor that needs to be considered. It needs to be very much focused on, because the majority of people are young. Yes, they need leadership. Yes, they need direction. Yes, they need input, etc. But demographically speaking, they are very young. So if we're talking about ASEAN youth, consider this is the majority of ASEAN citizens. Now the last thing, digital action. There's 2 things actually, the digital and the action. I like it very much that it's digital action, not just digital, because we need to see action. But digital is a tool basically to do something with us. We can increase productivity, hopefully. We can improve communication. We can, we can collaborate better using digital tools. We can even share business concepts better. Digitalness of things make certain business processes really transnational. So something that works in country A might, with a small modification, adjust it to the regulation and rules of that country, also be applicable in another country. And so scaling when it comes to digital matters is something that is, I think, comes natural to the business. Yeah. So digital is a business, digital is a technology, and digital is also a culture, actually. Yeah. So to do things digitally means that in many instances, you can directly speak and communicate with people, otherwise they would be far away from you in the hierarchy, or just far away from you geographically. So now everything is so close to you as a digital person because of the technology. So what is the meaning of action here, actually? Well, what do we want to do as ASEAN citizens? I think all of us want a better quality of life in the future. And how do you achieve that? Well, there's a few factors to be considered. One very prominent parameter is always, yes, we want to earn more money. Yes, true. I mean, there's something called the middle income trap, and there's something like highly developed countries, and it's all measured by GDP per capita per annum. Is that true? Yes and no. Because the GDP per capita per annum is an average thing. There could still be a big gap between people, right? You can have a few elite people that are very digitally empowered, and a lot of non-elite that are not, and in average is okay, but the reality is there's so much the digital gap, or I call it the digital divide, which translates often in the economic, education, health divide. So basically, the divide of things digitally is something that amplifies the existing divide. And so basically, that is something that needs to be tackled with digitalness. And so digital matters, if taken into action, they can actually improve inclusivity. They include better education for more people, which is actually part of inclusivity. They can basically lower cost. They can improve the reach of you that you have. You can get to know things that before were totally inaccessible for you once you have the correct literacy. But of course, it comes also with challenges. I just mentioned the key word, digital literacy. Digital literacy is definitely something that is seen as something which is sort of like in the way between achieving the full potential of digital technology, digital culture, and something that is actually not easy to deal with. We have all seen many times in our life the cases where we all fall into a digital trap. There's like news in the media that we automatically believe, but it turns out it's a total hoax. So, but it creates already a certain animal, a certain emotion in the population, and so by doing that more and more, things are you're being manipulated. So the only way to improve that is basically to increase digital literacy. We need to increase critical thinking. We need to increase the ability to think and to increase analytical problem solving in terms of thinking, and also to be more balanced in your views. But this is actually all part of critical thinking. But critical thinking is basically a very important part of digital literacy. So I think today's program, we want to start off and kick off this thing with the support of our sponsors. And I think I should mention here AWS, because it is very much your initiative as well, dear Ronnie. And I think, AWS is a protagonist of digital technology, making things available to a lot of people around the world. Cloud computing is something very omnipresent, and it's actually very useful for everybody. And it is AWS. There are other companies, of course, as well. But I mean, you are here right now, so I mentioned you, basically. But also, I think it is ASEAN is certainly a very good ground for this, because, as I mentioned before, the demographics are right, the current economic climate is right. Young people are not only energetic, but they have also the right spirit. They have usually a very positive outlook to the future. Right? They look to the future, they still have their life in front of them. So they think differently about change. They think, oh yeah, I can do something with it. This is something that brings good change, not something that basically disrupts my life as I know it, and I have to learn new things, although I'm already old. So I think that's not the attitude of a young person. Okay, I don't want to talk too much today, because I think I already said a lot. Again, thanks for coming here tonight. And I wish everybody a good event, and yeah, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ilham Habibi, for your inspiring remarks. Your presence has added significant value to our event, and we are truly grateful for your contributions. We also would like to invite to the stage Mr. Sidarto Suryodipuro, Director General of ASEAN Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to give us some remarks on this event. The floor is yours.
Yang saya hormati Bapak Ilham Habibie, Bapak Sesmen Kemenpora, Pak Gunawan Suswantoro, Chair of AIDA, Ibu Rani Birchmore, the Vice Chairman of AIDA, and my longtime collaborator, Pak Sachin Gopalan, Pak Nalin Singh, leader of the committee member of AIDA, Ambassador Vicky Singman, colleagues from ASEAN, ladies and gentlemen, and of course my colleagues from the Mission of Indonesia to ASEAN. They say that a good idea is when common sense meets the right time. Pa Ilham had elaborated the three elements of the ASEAN Youth Digital Action. These are the elements that come together, and it is the people that actually put them together. And I think Pa Ilham, the germination of the initial idea actually began in this room. And Pa Sachin, Pa Gunawan, Kemenpora, my colleagues from Kemlu, and everybody really came together and put this idea. And I think the rest is history. I can say that I am personally very pleased to see where we are. If this idea began with the question of how do we, Indonesia as chair of ASEAN 2023, and the question is, what is the best way to help our youth, the ASEAN youth, how to help equip them with the best knowledge to prepare them ready for the future of work. And that is digital, as Pa Ilham very well put it. And one way forward, obviously, that we have to have the partnership of the private sector, because this is where the majority of work will be generated by. I hope youth will not go my path and look for work in government. I hope they will create their future outside of government. So we are where we are. So I'd like to thank everybody that has been involved in realizing this idea. I think it's a fantastic platform that has been created that would train the youth of ASEAN to be ready, to get them ready for the future of work. I'd like to thank AWS. I'd like to thank Orbit, Kairos, the Investors Trust, and others, Pa Habibie personally, Pa Sachin, Burani, Pa Gunawan, and not least, of course, I would like to thank my team, led by Ibu Ana, Director for Socio-Cultural Affairs, her team, Niken, colleagues from the Mission of Indonesia, Ibu Rosdiana, not least. I'd like to thank everybody. And this is only the first step. We have a long journey to go. The Indonesian year is not even over. We have yet a few months to go. And then we continue the journey into the Laos chairmanship and into the future. So thank you very much, everybody. And I wish this event a success, and also for the AIDA endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sidarto Suryodipuro, for your remarks. So, continuing on, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further, it's essential to recognize the critical role of youth empowerment in the context of digitalization within ASEAN. In this era of rapid technological advancement, the youth of ASEAN stand as a torchbearers of innovation, creativity, and progress. Their energy, fresh perspectives, and digital prowess hold the power to shape the the future of our region. Through effective empowerment and support, they can harness the vast potential of digitalization to drive positive change, economic growth, and sustainable development. Today's event not only celebrates the launch of the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action program, but also underscores our collective commitment to nurturing and empowering the youth of ASEAN to become digital leaders, entrepreneurs, and problem solvers. Their involvement and engagement in the digital realm will not only benefit our region, but also contribute to the global technological landscape.
So as we move forward with our agenda, let us keep in mind the immense potential of our youth in driving the digitalization of journey of ASEAN and the opportunities that lies ahead for us all. And now we would like to invite the chairperson of ASEAN Youth for Digital Action to give us an opening remark for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, please give an applause for Dr. Rani S. Birchmore. The time is yours.
Can you see me? Selamat malam, Pak Gunawan, Pak Sidarto, Pak Ilham Habibie, Ibu Rosdiana, Pak Edwin, Pak Sachin, Pak Nalan, the honorable ambassadors who are here, the respected representatives from the CPR ASEAN member states, ASEAN dialogue partners, and our honored guest. Thank you for being here. I stand before you today, not just as the chairperson of AIDA, but as someone who believes deeply in the power and the potential of the ASEAN youth, especially in the digital age, as our honored guest talked about. Today, we are not just launching a program. We are igniting a vision created because of the platform that is ASEAN Summit. I don't know if the slides are moving. The next slide. The ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, we affectionately call AIDA, initiative epitomizes a proactive drive towards fostering a digitally adept youth populace, ready to navigate and lead in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. By ingraining inclusivity, innovation, and regional development at its core, AIDA not only amplifies the digital literacy among the youth, that's our goal, but also ignites a culture of collaborative growth and digital innovation across the ASEAN community, promising a brighter, technologically advanced future. Next slide, please. Our aim at AIDA is powerful: to inspire and empower the ASEAN youth, harnessing their potential and creativity, and pioneering a unified digital future where every young voice is skilled, relevant, and impactful. We do this by championing a sustainable digital transformation that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusivity, and equips the ASEAN youth with the skills and opportunities they need to thrive and contribute to a sustainable, interconnected, and resilient future. Our partnership with Innotech, Indonesia Economic Forum, Orbit Jobs, Orbit Future Academy, AWS Restart, the Investor Trust, most importantly, the ASEAN representatives who are here from the various countries, is a crucial step towards the goal. Through this collaboration, we are providing a roadmap for our young people to lead in the digital future, a future where ASEAN isn't just following, but leading and innovating. Now, we will do this by elevating digital skills and knowledge among young individuals in ASEAN region to foster a culture of innovation and digital literacy. We will do this with job readiness and mentoring, providing pivotal job readiness skills along with mentorship opportunities to adequately prepare the youth for the burgeoning digital workforce. With engagement and leadership, encouraging active engagement, nurturing leadership qualities, and promoting collaborative efforts among ASEAN youth toward digital transformation initiative, calling out skills development, focused on developing highly sought-after digital skills to significantly enhance the employability of ASEAN youth within the digital industry. And to all of you here, your continued support is vital as a catalyst for this change. We've just begun the journey. Share your insights, resources, and support to make this transformation a reality. Together, we can accelerate the digital empowerment of ASEAN youth, paving the way for technologically adept and innovative ASEAN community. Our youth are not just our future, as Pak Ilham very aptly put. They are the pulse of ASEAN today. It's our job to make sure they have the cutting-edge skills required to navigate and shape this digital era, which is theirs. Proficiency in cloud technology is not just a goal, it's a necessity. Our youth won't be participating, they will be leading, and that's our job to facilitate that. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Rani S. Birchmore, for your insightful opening remarks. Your presence and words have set the tone for what promises to be a remarkable program. Let us once again express our gratitude for Dr. Rani S. Birchmore with another round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the IDA program launch is not merely an event, but it's a celebration of digital innovation, empowerment, and the boundless potential that lies before us. Before we proceed to the official launch of this program, it is imperative that we gain a comprehensive understanding of what IDA entails. For this purpose, we're privileged to have Mr. Sachin Vigopalan as the Vice Chairperson of IDA and Mr. Nalin K. Singh as Leadership Committee Member of IDA to provide us with an overview of this significant initiative. Please join us in an extending warm round of applause to welcome Mr. Sachin Vigopalan and Mr. Nalin K. Singh to the stage. The time is now yours.
So I just have a few words. Thank you very much. Good evening, and thank you for this lovely opportunity to be here. Like Pa Siddhartho said, that the room was responsible for what we're doing today because the idea germinated here. But I really think, Pa, it is you, more than just the room alone, because you invited us after the meeting here to come and help and work with you for the ASEAN Summit on the ASEAN Youth Dialogue. So thank you very much, Pa Siddhartho. And we couldn't have done this without Ibu Ana, Ibu Niken, and the whole team from Kemlu. The point I'd like to make here is, end of the day, we are all here together because we are following a common purpose of doing activities that will help build the nation. And for that, I have to thank Pa Ilham. Ilham has an opportunity to participate in ways that we would never have done otherwise if we did not know him. This opportunity that has been given to us by Pa Habibi as well as Pa Ilham is greatly appreciated, and I thank you all for that great opportunity. Yeah. If I could go to the next slide. I just want to talk, I have only 2 slides here to talk about. The first one is, why are we going to ASEAN? We are going to ASEAN because we have a program that is already working here. This is not a new program. This is a new project. But the skilling programs that we are bringing are already running in Indonesia. There are already 35,000 different students. We're going through various such programs being done through Orbit's Future Academy. So Orbit Future Academy has been running these programs very successfully with Ibu Rani, with AWS. And I think, Ibu Rani, you have more than 10,000 people trained in cloud skilling. which is a remarkable number. In the last 2 years, 10,000 people have learned cloud skilling through Amazon's AWS's programs. And collaboration with Orbit has created this as a real program with real benefits to people in the market today. Already proven program. All we are doing is now collaborating with ASEAN, with Kemlu, with Kemenpora, and collaborating with all the nations working together to bring a proven program to the rest of ASEAN. So that's why I have high confidence that we are not experimenting or just running a new project and we start from zero. We are actually taking an existing live, successful, impactful program to the rest of the region. So that's why I call it a regional expansion, right? We are really looking at a regional expansion going into the rest of the region. Now, it's important to say that we are going to the rest of the region because the story here is inclusivity. We have to make available the programs to the youth, the same level to all the youth across the various regions. If you do that, they become catalysts for innovation. They will help to drive economic growth by becoming entrepreneurs or working in companies. And they will be contributors to achieving the SDG goals that have been set out, or ESG goals as more specifically put that have been outlined by all the adults. But who's going to implement them? Who's going to actually bring? So we talk about 2045. All the people who are going to be leaders in 2045 are today in university and school. So this is the right time to begin any kind of program that we want to skill up our youth so that they can actually achieve all these lofty goals that we have set for them. So this disconnect has to be addressed. If you don't do that, we are just going to leave a new generation floundering to try and find solutions to the problems that we flagged. So I think having expertise taken across the region in a consistent way, in an inclusive way, making sure we have gender access, we have access to rich and poor, remote areas, all should have access to the programs that we put together. It will make an impact. So the key word of no young individual is left behind is actually a real aspiration. Because even the son of a farmer may not want to be a farmer. The son or daughter of a fisherman may not want to be a fisherman or a fisherwoman. They may want to bring digital transformation and change the economy in their areas. And do we give them that opportunity? Frankly speaking, at the moment, no. We have to think of ways of empowering youth to change the legacy of the DNA of their economy in their local areas. So they can start new sectors across the nation. And that is the kind of empowerment that will make a change. Because we should not be reinforcing building urban areas to become more urban, rural areas to become more rural. That's not the way to go forward. So we have to find ways where we can democratically cut across all these problems that society faces. So this regional expansion is going across ASEAN, but I think in Indonesia we have a bigger challenge of going within Indonesia. So going to the 38 provinces, going to the 416 kabupatens, going to the 98 cities is a challenge by itself. So we are going to be experimenting with a lot of different ways of partnerships. And that's the next slide, please. This is what we're looking for now. Our starting point is we've already got program partners. As you can see, ASEAN, Kemenlu, Kemenpora, ASEAN. Everybody is involved as program partners, help put the program together. Then we have the implementation partners, AWS Orbit, Orbit Jobs, Innotech, Kairos, Investor Trust, working how they can put their services to play. But the missing part is how do we get this program funded? So we want to talk to national governments, developmental agencies, funding organizations to see how we can put programs, not only just across ASEAN, but across maybe specific to certain countries. So if the organizations have a mandate for developing a certain country, we are happy to work only on that silo. And with that kind of a collaboration, our goal, I think, is to reach 100,000 youth in the next 5 years, which is an average of 20,000 youth per year. And with 10 countries, or 11 countries, as we may say, that's on average, 2,000 people per year to be trained. That's not impossible. Actually, it's very doable. But the math, the success lies in the math. If you do the math and you know how to get to 100,000 people, it becomes quite clear what we need to do. So I think that's what we are looking for today, is the kickoff of forming more partnerships, more people who believe in the whole idea, and they can back a program that's already proven, already successful, and we are not experimenting anything new. This is things that have been done, been successful, have proven impact, and have proven to give people jobs. Therefore, it's something that's worth taking across. So that's one last slide. If you can go to the next slide, I'm going to invite Nalin, our business partner in Orbit Future Academy, who is the real implementer. I mean, say all of us have different roles. Our jobs are to bring collaborations, to bring a pathway to the program, but the person who's going to implement and run the programs across ASEAN is Nalin. So Nalin, can I have a few words about how you see these 5 programs being relevant to ASEAN region?
Stay here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We don't normally dress together like this. It is just incidental. We look identical. Correct. Look like brothers, actually. So, 2 of my business partners are here tonight, Pa Ilham and Sachin. If he has got the breadth of vision and audaciously, wide vision, he comes up with the most impossible projects. And then he stands here and says, now the guy who's going to implement it is going to speak to you. Thank you very much. This is an absolutely fantastic project. When it first came, my initial thought was, it's not possible. Because the youth are so diverse. We speak digital, but the mobile first generation is only 10 years old, the smartphone generation. Whereas youth is around 30 years or more. And then, a digitally active youth in Brunei or Timor-Leste is different from one in Singapore or even Indonesia. How do you build a program that's relevant to each one of them? As a background, I'll just give you 3 data points since every speaker tonight had the rule of 3. Firstly, if you see the 4 industrial revolutions, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, the first 3, broadly spoken of as the steam engine, electricity, and electronics. What changed in your personal life from a skill perspective? Nothing. Here's a steam engine, sit on it. Here's a light, learn how to put a bulb. Here's electronics, use it. But the 4th industrial revolution, computers, smartphones, etc., have pervaded every aspect of our life to the point that Pa Ilham spoke about the digital trap. All of us who have children are always edgy of how digitally active they are. That's one change. That's bringing this program like this. The second, in the last 3 years, I have been to more than 250 universities. Whenever I go there, I feel, I start thinking of the past, of my own college time. One day it struck me that everything around this university has changed except the classroom. It looks the same. Deja vu. Chalkboard has become whiteboard, and there is a tokenism for digital by putting a screen and a projector like this. But nothing else has changed except the fact that the fee is 5 to 10 times higher. Why am I saying that? If the youth that Sachin spoke about are going to lead these nations to the lofty goals they have set for themselves, the people who are coaching them now are so cut off from reality, and they are coaching them in an environment, and they're teaching them things that are absolutely irrelevant in the real world today, because they are thinking their institution is to give information and knowledge, whereas today it is not about information and knowledge, it is about methodology and outcome. Can you give each learner a personalized methodology, like the diversity I spoke about, personalized learning path, and can you give them an outcome? If they come to your university to get a job after 5 years, if they don't get a job, who's accountable? And the third point, finally, the students. So many surveys done about ASEAN youth. I saw a recent one. 2 things stood out for me in this day and age. One, when they asked the youth, why are you studying what you're studying? And if you had to study something differently, why did you not pick it up in the first place? An overwhelming majority said, I had no information. This is the information age. This is the digital age. An overwhelming majority said, I had no information about it. The same survey asked unemployed youth, and employed youth, why do you change your job so often? Most of us think young Gen Z, restless, lazy, or chasing money. The overwhelming answer was to gain new skills in the other organization. So if you listen to the real customers and the real people who lead us in the future, they are demanding skills, they are demanding latest skills, they are fed up with formal education without outcome. And that is what this program intends to do. Provide the right information, the right dosage of skills, and the right intensity through AWS Restart's cloud computing program, which is a foundational technology of its own. One last point, which I find funny, and I always try to end with something ironical or funny. ASEAN is a region. We speak about it as a regional economy, 6th largest, 7th largest in the world, etc. We speak about our talent as being reasonably fungible and movable and mobile. We speak about our talent becoming global. How will we become global regional talent if we teach them in local language? I speak about the adoption of business English. The number one point that employers in every survey have said again and again that stops them from hiring talent is the lack of business English. As we roll out this program, we have demands to roll this program out in local languages in the 10 countries to build global talent. That thought with you and stop there.
Thank you, Nalin. Insightful as always. So I think the bottom line here is that a lot of people have come together, not only the ones in the room today. I have here also Ashish from Singapore. Ashish is a young entrepreneur based in Singapore, working in the digital space. And he is one of the people who wants to set up the ASEAN Economic Forum. And the role of the ASEAN Economic Forum would be to deploy projects like this and programs like this across the region. So he's here all the way, especially here to see how we can figure out a way to work together and work with the ASEAN Secretariat as well as with Kemlu and the others. Because sitting in Singapore, he has different access to the region compared to us sitting here in Indonesia, which is closer to the ASEAN Secretariat. Thank you, Ashish. So I'm going to end there. I'm going to give it back to the lovely MCs here. But thank you very much for this opportunity to collaborate. So Pak Khairil from Kemenpora has been instrumental in helping us put the last bits of it together, along with Ibu Niken and Ibu Anna, who supported us. And I know you brought us up to this point now. Our job is to now take it to the next level. We still need a little bit more help from you to bring the partnerships together, because once that is in place, then it's Nalin's job to execute. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pak Sachin and Pak Nalin Kaising. Let us once again express our gratitude to Mr. Sachin Vigopalan and Mr. Nalin Kaising with another round of applause. Okay, thank you both Pak Sachin or Mr. Sachin Vigopalan and Mr. Nalin Kaising for enlightening us with the overview of the AIDA program. Your insights are invaluable in comprehending the essence and significance of this program.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare to embark on this exciting journey of digital innovation and empowerment, we have a unique and symbolic way to mark the official launch of the AIDA program. Today, we have been graced by the presence of our esteemed keynote speakers, all of whom have shared their wisdom and insights. We believe it is only fitting that they join us in a symbolic gesture to signify the launch of this groundbreaking initiative. We would like to invite each of our distinguished guests to step forward and together hit the ceremonial gong, signifying the official commencement of the AIDA program. This gong, much like our shared vision, resonates with the spirit of collaboration, progress, and unity across ASEAN's digital landscape. So without any further ado, may I kindly request our guests to come forward and do the honors. Your collective action today will resonate far beyond this moment and mark the beginning of a new era in digital innovation and youth empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests to this stage for this momentous occasion. To Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro, to Mr. Sidarto Suryodipuro, to Mr. Ilham Habibi, to Ms. Rosdiana Murtiningsi, to Dr. Rani S. Birchmore, to Mr. Sachin Vigopalan, and to Mr. Nalin Kaising, please come to the stage. I will now begin the countdown for the ceremonial gong. Each person will take turns. 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for your participation in this symbolic act. With this resounding sound, we officially launch the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action Program, and we look forward to the incredible journey ahead.
So I'll just say a few words about why do we have the gong here today. Because the consensus of all our team was it's a digital program, digital action, we must have a digital launch. And I think all of you have been to enough events where they touch the screen and do a digital launch. That doesn't affect the audience. So we said, let's go back to our cultural roots, because the gong creates sonics, and the sonics penetrates everybody in the room. So we felt that that was a far more appropriate way to launch something which is meant to touch the hearts of everybody. So we did not go the digital route for the launch, and we used the traditional gong. Just wanted to let you know that it was done with a purpose. Thank you very much, and have a great evening today.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As we've just marked official launch of the IDEA program with a resounding gong, we would like to invite our esteemed guests to come on the stage for a special moment. Yeah, so we will be having two photo sessions to capture this memorable occasion. Yeah, so in the first photo session, I kindly request the following individuals to join us at the center of the stage. So yeah, for the first session, yeah, sure. Okay, we'll begin the photo session. Okay, thank you very much. We would like to okay, for Bapak Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro. Yeah. Okay, so please remain on stage for the second photo session. I would like to invite Bapak Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro, Bapak Sidarto Suryodipuro, Bapak Ilham Habibi. Yeah, for the second session, Pak. Yeah. No, okay, sure. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This will be a cherished moment that encapsulates the collective commitment to the IDEA program success. So, for our distinguished guests, you may go back to your seat. Okay. We will now present to you our official video of AIDA. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to preview you. We are going to present to you our official ASEAN Youth for Digital Action video presentation or video overview.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated while the video is playing. Thank you.
Welcome to the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, or AIDA, a transformative program that empowers the youth of the ASEAN nations to shape a unified digital future. ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, or AIDA, is the direct outcome of the ASEAN Youth Dialogue 2023, which was held in May 2023 in Jakarta as a part of Indonesia's chairmanship of ASEAN.
The ASEAN countries represent 9% of the world's population, but so far, only 3% of global GDP. What ASEAN definitely has in abundance is untapped potential. Most of that potential lies within its youth. The digital technology of this world, including that which is yet to be developed, represents the levers with which our youth in ASEAN can shape the future. For the past 3 decades, I have been working in this region for global companies, bringing skills development and digital transformation to this most important group. The obstacles have been large and many, but today they are being eroded faster than ever before. Specifically, I'm referring to internet access and community action. As of July last year, internet across ASEAN countries has surpassed 40%. At the same time, ASEAN had 460 million internet users, 370 million of which are digital consumers. Our youth are more connected than ever before. And today, we are launching the ASEAN Youth for Digital Action to help them leverage their access and develop their skills and potential. What excites me the most is that today represents a major turning point in what the youth of the ASEAN region can accomplish in the next 3 decades. The transformation we hope to be part of will change lives, will change communities, will change nations, and in fact, the entire region. I am both honored and excited to be able to play a role and bring my experience and enthusiasm to this opportunity. Our vision for AIDA: to inspire and empower the ASEAN youth.
Before we end this event, we would like to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia and the ASEAN Secretariat for their remarkable support in this program. We are honored to have had representatives from the permanent mission to ASEAN from ASEAN member states, ASEAN partner countries, and funding agencies with us today. Their perspectives and supports for this pioneering digital initiative are invaluable, and we look forward to fostering meaningful connections during the networking session that will follow. Once again, we extend our heartfelt thanks to some of our esteemed guests for today's event, including Dr. Gunawan Suswantoro as Secretary Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Sidarto Suryodipuro, Director General of ASEAN Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Ilham Habibi, MBA, Chief Executive of National ICT Council, Ms. Rosdiana Murtiningsih, Counselor for Socio-Cultural Affairs, Permanent Mission of Republic of Indonesia for ASEAN, Mr. Edwin Satya, First Secretary, Permanent Mission of Republic of Indonesia for ASEAN, Dr. Rani S. Birchmore, Chairperson ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, Mr. Sachin Vigopalan, Vice Chair ASEAN Youth for Digital Action, Mr. Nalin K. Singh, Leadership Committee Member, ASEAN Youth for Digital Action.
We also would like to apologize for any mispronunciation or misspellings that may have occurred during our proceedings. We also request for you to enjoy the snacks provided for your refreshment. Please take a moment to savor the refreshment while continuing your networking session. Finally, on behalf of both of us, I'm Ajay Maulana.
And I'm Devona Theodora.
We would like to express our heartfelt appreciation to all of you for being part of this evening.
Please join us in giving a resounding round of applause and enjoy the remainder of this incredible evening. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Train over 2,000 individuals in cloud computing with a remarkable 48.6% success rate in job placements. ASEAN Digital Champion, your gateway to a future where digital technology drives socially inclusive green projects. ASEAN Digital Champion offers certificate courses in 4 vital topics, equipping participants with fundamental skills. Orbit Job Readiness for ASEAN Youth. Research tells us that 87% of employers believe graduates lack workplace readiness, but Orbit Jobs has a solution. Tailored for aspiring professionals, our program nurtures youth to be job-ready using cutting-edge digital tools and essential soft skills. The program focuses on 5 core pillars. And the best part? Upon course completion, participants earn the prestigious 5-star Orbit Job Ready badge. AIDA Membership Program. As an AIDA member, you'll immerse yourself in a supportive ecosystem. Here's what you will gain. You'll access mentoring and project-based learning opportunities. AIDA opens doors to career advancement. Join AIDA today and be part of the digital transformation in ASEAN. Together, we'll create a future where every young voice is skilled, relevant, and impactful.